Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music programs. Thank you for joining us today. Our channel is dedicated to bringing live performances and events from international artists delivered to the audiences around the globe. I am James Welch, and I will be your host for this session. This afternoon, we are presenting the ColORCHESTRA auditions in continuation from the rest of this weekend. We started on Friday, and we are going all the way through Monday to hear all these wonderful musicians auditioning for an opportunity to perform with orchestras worldwide. Today, we are auditioning for the Cairo Opera Orchestra and the Butler Philharmonic. And we will be hearing four fabulous musicians, so hang tight. We will be with them soon. Let's see here. Yes, auditionees, all from different countries, seeking guidance and support from the judges through the live comments, which you will hear after each performance today. The ColORCHESTRA auditions worldwide are organized by Artist Ventures, Sound Espressivo, Progressive Musicians, Virtual Concert Halls, and in collaboration with Price Attractions, Vocal Arts Management, and Cicciarone Music and Art. And we have many other partners, as you can see on the screen here. There's so many of them, and we thank you for all of them, all of what you provide. You know, it's not just money, it's resources. Yes, thank you. Applause. And I'd like to show you how everything got started, and for that we have our fun Sound Espressivo trailer. Enjoy.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community. An extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
The goal of these auditions is to encourage, nurture, and reward musicians who are proactive about sharing their art and developing their careers. We all together are providing opportunities for musicians to discover their unique artistic voice, take initiative, present themselves on their own terms, and carve out their own career paths. There are no restrictions on how many auditions a person can take and how many opportunities they can utilize for their own stage development. We are expanding our reach, and we are streaming to all platforms worldwide. You know, you can see us right there, and we are interactive. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment. If you have a question, one of our tech wizards will put it up on the screen, and we will answer it when at the appropriate moments. And if you just want to say something nice about a performer, you could put that up there as well, and we will show it. So if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and what's that? Oh, ring the bell. Yeah, and leave a comment, and we will interact with you. Okay, so we have a short video of some of our past ColORCHESTRA concerts and concerts coming up in the future, which we will look at very quickly right now. And we've had some wonderful events, as you could see on that last video, and they just keep coming, and the opportunities just keep coming our way. So stay in touch with us, and we're going to be adding more opportunities, and we'd love you to be a part of them. So visit our websites, and you'll see how you can participate in the auditions in all these events. We invite musicians, educators, publishers, media managers, artist managers, and many others to share their insights to help musicians and everyone navigate the modern world of music. If you are not here to watch our previous auditions, don't worry. They're all on our YouTube and Vimeos. You could go to our channels and you can watch and catch up. And there's a lot of greatness to catch up on, a lot of musical greatness. So like, subscribe, ring the bell, right? Okay, so we need to get rolling here with these auditions. And first, I'd like to just introduce the judges. Who's judging today? We have Dekron Atamian, aka Jack Price, founder of Price Attractions, artist manager, and first prize winner of the Naumburg competition. We have Giacomo Franchi, the New York Chamber Players founder, conductor, and pianist, and he's known for his recordings of Stravinsky published piano works. And we have Navart Andresian, from the Armenian National Opera, conductor and wonderful educator, has won various prizes as a conductor. And last but not least, Gevorg Sargsyan, from the Ministry of Culture of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, artistic director of Music Hubs, conductor, and just fabulous musician. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. So just to give you an idea of how interactive and how remote this live stream is, I'd just like to point out that all of us are in different locations. We're not in one central studio today. I'm in Buffalo, New York. Jack Price, you're in California, aren't you?
I'm in a mysterious place. No, I'm just kidding.
He's in a mysterious place.
No, I'm in in Folsom, California, where the prison is. You know, they haven't come to get me yet, you know.
Yeah, well, you're in a great hiding place. Hide in plain sight, right? Or hide on the internet with us. Great. And Giacomo, you're in New York?
New York City.
Yep. And Navart, you're in Armenia?
I'm in Yerevan.
In where?
Yerevan. In the
Yerevan.
capital.
The capital.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, wonderful. And Gevorg, where are you? You're always somewhere different.
Lucky you, Nawart. I wish I'm in Yerevan. I'm in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia.
Riyadh, okay, wonderful. Yeah, every time I talk to you, you're in a different city, and
No one is perfect.
No, you should, hiding from those prisons, right?
That's for sure. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, we're all in different places. We're all here together. We're all on different time zones, and so are our auditionees, which we will get to hearing right now. You ready?
Let's do this.
Yeah, we need like a crowd or something here. Okay, here we go. So our very first auditionee is pianist Daniel Kuzahara, and he will be performing the Chopin E minor concerto first movement. Daniel, welcome back to our virtual stage. Toi toi. Bravo, Daniel. It was so nice to hear you play. And again, today, I mean, you played a couple days ago. I was watching. I don't think I was hosting that one. But no, it's really nice to hear you play. And always, and I will always remember your fabulous list at Carnegie Hall, which was just a dazzling performance. And so, welcome back to our events here and our auditions. And I'm going to turn this over to the judges. Why don't we start? We never decided on an order. Let's start with Navart. Ladies first.
Oh, thank you very much. Finally, I could hear the connection was very good, much more than yesterday. So I couldn't hear anything. Now I hear. Thank you for playing again. I want just say something. If you can move your body less, but put the movement of that body here inside and in the energy in the piano, it will be better, because there is phrases which needs to have an inside energy, and here there is nothing. You just move. You think that with moving your body everything is done. I'm sorry, not. It's impossible. Yeah. I will be very rude. Moving the body like that, it's kind of a show. But the music is not a show. You must put it inside, and it should come from the hara. You know the word, yeah, the hara.
Yes.
Yeah. So do it with the hara. Yeah. So you play in the piano, and you will see yourself that the sound will change, and you can make better colors and change colors of the piano. Even it's Chopin, you must play on colors. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Navart. Let's move on to Giacomo.
I really liked your playing. It's full of passion. You are also, the expressive part is not too sugary. I really like your playing in general. The only thing the very last run, I think with the I don't know if there is a mordente in the left end or a trill. Right at the very end, I think there is a nice melody from, if I remember well, from the winds. And you are playing is kind of too heavy, so the conductor would have to struggle to get the winds, the nice melody from the winds up. The rest I really like everything. The connection was much better, so finally I could hear you playing. So I'm very glad about that. Sorry, I don't want to start a fight with Nvart. I don't agree with her. I think that it's fine the way you do, and maybe Nvart, maybe I'm too American, but
no, you can never be too American.
yeah, for me, you know, the concert is also it's also a show. The public need also a visual thing, and you know. So Daniel, do whatever you want. Don't listen to us. Okay. I might agree with her in the sense of maybe, but it might be the connection. In the expressive part, I agree with your rhythm. Maybe sometimes you could lighten up the orchestra is not obstructive. When the piano plays, the orchestra is accompanying you. So you can literally do whatever you want. I know that there is the worry, oh, am I stronger than the orchestra? There is not really the problem here in the Chopin you can do whatever you can do a pianissimo 3P, and and then if the conductor doesn't do what you want, you just yell at the conductor. except if it's me. If it's me, no.
Yeah, yell at a different conductor. Yeah. You know, if I could interject, I'm not a judge here, but I am a pianist, and I am somebody who does a lot of movement at the piano, and this was addressed with me before, and I'll tell you what I did to help remedy that. You know, I work with a lot of opera singers, and one of the biggest things that was reminded to me with that when we're in the opera workshops is when people are singing, they tend to use their hands or gestures and all that, and we see a lot of repeat gestures with different text or different parts of the storyline, and we always say to them, why are you doing the same gestures? What does it mean that you go like this every phrase or something? You can't see because of my green screen here, but you know, and you know, make it meaningful to that moment. So if you're using the same gesture, or you're doing the same thing every time you're singing a phrase, or in your case playing, or my case playing, then it just becomes redundant. And you know, I mean, of course you want to make sure that it fits and all that, but when we keep seeing the same movements or the same way that you end a phrase, that it kind of does make the show a little redundant in some ways, and then we kind of like hear what we see in some ways. So it just something to think about, really. I'm not a judge. I'm just offering you that because I've also fallen victim to that problem many times in my professional career. And I will turn this back over. Oh,
Thank
Navar?
you, James. You complete what I said. Yeah. Yeah. You explained what I exactly said. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, sure. You're welcome. And Giacomo's side of it too. I mean, of course, do what you're gonna do, but make it more meaningful, and make it, you know, and make it so that it's not always the same. And then you know, if he doesn't like it, you can yell at him. But okay, I'll turn this back over to the judges here. Who's next here? Jack Price.
I just realized what this show reminds me of. Have any of you guys seen Hollywood Squares?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
We need four more of us if we're going to do that.
Yeah, we need them all over the screen. We need like a whole bunch of squares. Mm-hmm. My suggestion is this Dial-A-Joke or Jake's Mule Barn? Okay, so here's the deal. We need lots more judges with lots more opinions, and then we can really laugh a lot. Okay.
Indeed. Yeah.
No,
right
laughing. I'm sorry, but laughing is the greatest. It is the greatest thing, you know. Anyway,
it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the auditions here.
This is all
pretty good.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Now listen. What the heck? What? I couldn't disagree with all of you more. Are you kidding me? This is a great artist. You don't touch great artistry. He moves his hand whichever way. I mean, keep repeating it over and over. As Grzegorz Novak says, it's spectacular. Your playing is out of this world. First of all, I really appreciate all these comments because it brings to mind so many things. And your playing brings to mind so many things. I'll get to one little thing that might be constructive in a minute, but I'm telling you that's the best Chopin E minor. If I want to hear Pollini's now from when he was 18 when he won Chopin, I mean, this is, you have to recall what you've heard. You have to recall what you've heard to make any kind of a decision. And I mean, everything you've ever heard has to be recalled right now. Otherwise, there's no way to make a comment. These things about movements and color, I mean, that was one of the most colorful Chopin performance. Do you play the F sharp minor Polonaise?
I have not, no.
Well, you should. I mean, that is your piece. That's the greatest Chopin of all time, in my opinion. But, you know, who cares what I think? The point is, you should play that, and you should play the hell out of it. You will play it. I mean, the playing is just out of this world. It's your conception is beyond any other I've ever heard. Gilel sounds almost boring and straightforward compared to this. And I love his playing and yeah, in general. And you know, he's good, but you're really great. I mean, if you play everything like this with this kind of poetry, and I'm sure you do, Mozart, whatever, it makes no difference what you play, differentiation and style. That's about it. Your music. You become the music. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's absolutely stunning music making and pianism. But I have a couple of comments. I think it'll be even better. You do an interesting thing, which if everybody kind of falls into this trap, when you have a second theme, like in the Beethoven Third, the last movement, you have the departure into A flat, you know, da 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 dum, ya da 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 dum, dee da da. Okay, it's the same thing. Dee dum ba dum, dee da da dee da dum, ba da dum da da. Why do you go da da dum da da? It's not in your character to even do that. And in the second theme of the first movement, you slow the whole thing down, and you make it almost not a cohesive whole. And I'm sure conductors would love you if you basically kept this streamlined tempo character throughout the piece rather than bringing the whole concerto almost to a halt. Although you do it incredibly convincingly. Incredibly convincingly. I mean, I've never been more convinced of this concerto, and all these naysayers saying the orchestral part is terrible and blah, blah. Chopin was an absolute genius. He wrote exactly what the solo part needs. An accompaniment. This is not necessarily a Brahms 1 or a Brahms 2, you know. It's a concerto, but it's really, the piano is glorified to the heavens, and the orchestra, the poor guys are just there to support you. You know, it's not the collaboration of the life of a lifetime compositionally, you know. So I think that what you do, you can just about do anything except do a Glenn Gould, which you never do, by the way. You're just absolutely, you know, you don't have to be weird to be original. You are sensational the way you are. So when you play the theme, why not move the quick notes? As I always say, I'm sure people are tired of hearing me saying it, move the quick notes quicker and hold the longer notes longer. So you have the theme, ba-dum, ba-dum. See what I mean? Not dee-dum, ba-dum, or da-dum, ba-dum. No. Hold that. And by the way, when you get into a note value that's got a new world, a bunch of quarters, you have to move those quarters, even though you were moving eighths before that, or sixteenths. The minute you're in the world, I call it the world of quarters, the world of dotted halves, the world of eighth notes, the world of 16th notes, all those have to move within their world. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you don't just move 16th notes, you move everything. So dee-dum, ba-dum, dee-da-da, dee-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-dum. You see? Instead of da-da-dum, ba-ba-dum, it's just, I would say it's on the very highest level, which you are, it's too syrupy. It's like pouring log cabin syrup all over Aunt Jemima pancakes or something, you know. You don't need the syrup because the Aunt Jemima is good enough. Of course, they're not Aunt Jemima anymore because, you know, it's not politically correct, of course. Anyway, so the second theme, ba-dum, bum, dee-da-dum, ba-dee-dum, ya-da-dee-da-dum. Just play it naturally like you are. Don't listen to these recordings or people who say you've got to do this. And let me tell you another thing. Teachers are out. Be yourself. You're the greatest teacher of yourself. Okay? The great teachers tell you how, or can train you how to think, not to emulate themselves. I don't care how Leon Fleischer plays the opening of the Franck Symphonic Variations, albeit the greatest, almost one of the greatest phrases I've ever heard. Have you heard him play that? It's absolutely stunning. He's such a musician. Of course, he screws up everything else because his hand curls and he's done for the day. But no one can question the artistry and the poet Leon Fleischer. You know, he's a poet. When he plays that, da-da-dee-dum, da-da-dee-dum, you know, da-da-dee-da-da-da. Okay, it's just sensational. Why? I will tell you why. Because he makes the fast notes faster and the slow notes, longer notes slower. But not necessarily like that in relationship to each of those note values.
You can do it with
It's not just like all long notes are slow. No. In relationship, in the world of long notes or whole notes or half notes or eighths, it's a very, very ticklish thing. It's a tightrope that you have to walk, and you do it exceedingly well, better than almost everybody I've heard. I'm trying to think of someone that can do what you do. Keep this movement moving, but not, it's like Mazel goes, he turns to me in the middle of the, you want to go faster? In the middle of the concert. I said, excuse me, maestro, it's not a matter of fast. And the audience is going like, what the hell are they talking about? I mean, I was furious when he said that to me. It's the character. You have to become the piece, and you do. You are the music. You're not Chopin. Who cares about him? It's the music that he wrote. You become that score organically. You're in it, and you are in it from the start. I mean, we can talk about lots of little details because, oh yeah, these pianists have all these. I don't do it that way, you know, and I don't think it goes that way. It's just nonsense. You are a great artist, and all you have to do is be yourself. And that's all I have to say. Now, one other thing, technically, it's brilliant, but you slow down sometimes after you establish a tempo character, like at the end, you can't do that. And the trills, you know, this thing, don't go, you're doing a fast trill in the left hand and a slow tremolo in the right hand. So this chord gets mixed up because we don't know, is it da-dee-da-dee-da or is it really a tremolando blah, 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 you know. Make sure you decide what to do there, okay? And synchronize the two hands. Don't just play whatever you want to play. It has to be musically what you've prepared us for already. But in a sense, when you get to that spot, which is the ultimate moment of the piece for the piano, it's like you're slowing us down. It should be a frenzy at that point. I mean, you come off the piano like this, and I believe in that totally, but do the gesture according to the passage, you know. That's all right there only. I'm not criticizing the rest of it.
Thank you, Richie.
Incredible playing.
Thank you.
We have one more here, Gevorg.
I'm not sure if there is anything left for me to say because I mean, this is a good thing because, you know, everyone is already doing a lot of things and we actually listen to the same thing. I'll just add one short thing because I don't listen to you as a pianist. I listen to you as a conductor with whom you will be potentially playing. Great stuff. And most important thing, what I heard 2 days ago and what you played today was not the same. And this is, I just love the fact that you're not static. It was still yours, but it was not static. It's not like you play this your way and that's the only way. You evolve. It might be a difference in weather, might be difference in time. No, time is about the same place. Location is the same. but it could be something with the weather, it could be something with your breakfast today, but it could be something that is different from 2 days ago, and it has a change of color. I noticed a lot of velvet feel, and contrary to the idea that Chopin's concertos are just merely sonatas with orchestral accompaniment, as a conductor, I strive to find new colors in the orchestra that will enhance soloist performance. And I think with soloists of this kind of different colors and unique in a way, bizarre, sometimes weird. You don't have to be weird to be original, totally agree, but it's not weird. I think it's just yours. So stick to it, and I'm sure any orchestra will have a lot of fun working with you.
Thank you.
I have a question for
Yes.
Daniel. I'm just curious. Do you play also the other two movements?
I am working on the other movements, but I have not finished the preparation of that, so it is not performance ready.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Another question I have about your repertoire. You play other piano concerto? Just as curiosity, I would like to know. You play, I don't know, some Mozart concerto or Beethoven or?
Yes, I prepared Mozart Piano Concerto D minor. I still do that. I prepared that in the past and still have that as a second concerto, and have hopes to work with some other concertos after I finish learning the full performance of the Chopin. But
The Chopin. Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, judges. Daniel, did you have any questions you wanted to ask or anything you wanted to say?
I just wanted to thank all the judges for their time to hear me twice throughout this, what I imagine is a long day for all of you. So thank you so much. And to you, James, for the opportunity.
Well, our pleasure, Daniel, and thank you for bringing your enchanting performance to us yet again this weekend. It was great to hear you and great to have you, and we wish you all the best. And with that, we will be moving on to our next next audition, which is Caden Griggs, who will be playing the Saint-Saëns Piano Concerto No. 2, the entire thing. Caden, welcome back to the virtual stage. Okay, we need to interrupt here. We are having a sound issue, so we're going to ask Caden if you could go back to tech, and we'll get this straightened out, and we will come back. And no worries, I mean, this happens in live performance and broadcast all the time, and we, that's just how it is. So we will. I would like to maybe bring back Jack Price for a moment, if that's all right. And hey there, Jack.
Hello there.
Yeah, well, we're finishing out
We're
this.
around the globe.
Yeah, we're around the globe here, and there's
I love the way
always
you
a
say
tech thing that we need to just work with, in these cases. But I figured, maybe take this opportunity to talk about what Jack Price Attractions, what Price Attractions is, and what we're doing here with artists in the modern day. And you manage artists all around the world. And how long have you been doing this for?
Well, that's a good question. As Jack Price or as Richie Atamian? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
no,
all the above.
Jack died a few years ago in his 90s, and way back in '84, he heard me play, and he said, "Look, why don't you, forget Columbia and do your own thing, and I'll give you the business." And I said, "What? And the dividends too?" He said, "No, you're not getting the money." But I took the label Price Rubin and Partners, which is the original company. He started 65 years ago about.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's a really great brand. He gave me the brand, the letter, AKA Jack Price. I became Jack Price. So that was in '84, but nobody knew it until 2010. So it was a long time before Jack came out of the closet, sort of.
So you were like Charlie's Angels in a way, like nobody really knew who you were, but they just kept hearing from you.
It's funny that you brought it up, because I used to have a voice changer. Ted Kuchart caught it right away.
Goodness.
And I go, "Hello, this is Jack Price." And Richie Atamian would go, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And so it was quite different. Jack, this is, I don't know about Atamian, but I do not approve of any of this, kind of. And I created this persona. I think Tom Cruise did the same thing, because, he has this long Jewish name, and he used it, I think, to sell Tom Cruise at the beginning. And he was his own manager. This is not unique, but it's interesting. You see, so this self-management idea has been going on for a long time. It's just that not many people have done it, nor do they have the talent to do it. But the whole idea is to give artists, not to, get away from your question. The idea is to give artists similar to your platform, or our platform now, I should say. We're all in cahoots, right? We're partners in crime. You say artists should represent themselves on their own terms. Okay, that's just phenomenal. I love that platform, because I can tell what I think of a pianist or a musician or whatever in 5-10 seconds. I don't need to hear the Van Cliburn 2 programs and 8,000 concertos later. Oh yeah, I think he wins. I mean, you can tell the winner just like that. You can I can tell you they've picked all the wrong winners practically in the Cliburn. I would have never picked any of those people. But I mean, I have to think back on it. I mean, Mark Westcott should have won the '69 Cliburn, hands down. Van said it. Everybody said it. Minoru Nojima was a very weak second, and then what's her name? Christina Ortiz wasn't even in the running, but Fleischer liked the way she looked. So that was the end of that. So. My point is, on your own terms, you don't need to compete with the world to be noticed, okay? Mm-hmm. What we stress is branding the name. It's name brand that matters. They don't care what you look like. They don't care if you look like a short order cook. They don't care if you look like Lady Godiva. They don't care if you've got long black hair and you're riding bareback, naked on a horse. They don't care about that. People.
Some of them might care about that, but
no, they don't. No, the buyers don't. I'm here to tell you the only thing they care about until you play or sing is this. This is the reaction you want. Oh yeah, I know that guy. Send me some stuff. Or no, I don't know that guy. Send me some stuff. Mm-hmm. See? Oh, indeed. See difference? No, listen. It's a huge difference. Those two reactions to the sales pitch are so, this is wide as the Grand Canyon. Mm-hmm. The name has to be ubiquitous. I love the ubiquitousness. Is it easily recognized? That's ubiquitous, right? So in other words, Jack Price. Oh yeah, I know Jack. Yeah, Dick Ronatamian. Forget it. Yeah, that's a good name for an artist. That's a good name for an artist, but it's not ubiquitous enough. And besides, it's confusing. Like, oh yeah, is Richie managing himself? Yeah, duh. The point is, what is it all about, Alfie? Like the movie, it's all about name brand. And then when you go to play, well, it's not exactly like the best man wins or the cream rises to the top. We all know, let's just say it, that mediocrity rises to the top. The cream does not rise to the top unless the money's behind it. You're not going to hear this anywhere else because they're afraid to say it. I have no axe to grind and no agenda. And my people at my office say, oh, Jack, don't say that. Richie, don't say that. My mother used to say, Richie, don't do that. Don't do that, Richie. Too bad. That's me. I was an artist in another life. And what I wanted was transparency, accountability, upfront, and in your face. And that's what we
great,
are.
Jack. Yeah, that's wonderful. And we should continue this conversation. I'm understanding that Caden is back and his tech has worked out. So we're going to continue with his audition, and then we should definitely, if not this broadcast, continue this like in another broadcast. Give everyone a second to hang on to this.
Yeah, I want to talk about management, not Jack Price's right.
We definitely need to highlight the advantages to artist management and why that's important and why everybody needs help.
Good. It can be good.
It can be great, and it can be great with Jack Price Attractions. So with that, we have Caden back in the studio, and we're going to welcome you back. We're glad that you have your tech worked out, and we are looking forward to hearing your wonderful audition. So welcome back to the virtual stage. Toi toi. Bravo. Bravo. Well, that's certainly a fabulous way to start off this morning here. We have Chopin, and now we have the Saint-Saëns in G minor, and it's just some fabulous playing we've heard this morning. And bravo, Caden. It was just wonderful. I'm going to turn this over to the judges, and we're going to start with Gevorg.
Good evening, good morning. Hi, Caden. Amazing performance. I mean, I don't know how old are you, but you sound older.
I believe he's 12. Are you 12, Caden?
13.
13. Wow.
How much difference? Very strong touch. Again, I never comment as a pianist because I'm not, but the touch and the energy is just very, very solid. Then I will also want to mention your attire, the way what you wear, even though you are not in a concert hall yet, but you are in a virtual concert hall, and that also makes difference. What I was listening to you, and I was imagining you sitting in a rehearsal with a full orchestra, which, by the way, Anna pretty much completely, delivered, with all the trumpets and French horns and dynamics and everything is just fantastic. But I was sitting here and imagining, what would you do if all these sounds around you will start playing? If the violins just at your back and, French horn and trombones and everything will come into what is it? What will be your reaction? I think you just need to remember that you are the soloist, but there is also orchestra there. So you will probably need to have more synergy together with other instruments and all that. Of course, having collaborative pianists next to you is fantastic, and I can see your connection with that. I just want to remind you about the real situation with the orchestra and everyone is playing different things. And one more thing that I always look for: have more fun. Have more fun. I remember commenting about this with some other audition the other day. Have a little bit more fun. Don't be too serious. I mean, you are very serious, and that's great. But have a little fun, especially in a presto. Like there should be the eyebrow should go up, a little bit. Other than that, really nice. Thank you so much for this marvelous performance. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have next here? Navart.
Yeah, I'm very impressed, Caden. Congratulations, it's really very good. I agree with Gevorg. Have fun. And the second movement, you can be much more light, yeah, and play with sounds, with notes, not as notes, but it sounds like this, because it is a great joke. Allegro scherzando, yeah? It means joyfully joke. It is very French and very light. It's on the piano. In the last movement, congratulations. You had some small problems with the intonation. It's normal, yeah. It's happened. It's live, but you kept the tempo. It's very good. Means that with the orchestra, you will be very clear, yeah. So anything happens, you keep the tempo, you keep your mind, and I agree with Gevorg. Have fun, because this is the joke, yeah. Especially the second movement. Don't be afraid. Do it. You can do that. Expand yourself. Express yourself more than you do. Yeah? It will be really great.
Wonderful. Thank you, Navart. Who is next here? Giacomo.
I'm next. Okay.
You're next.
I'm next. So, what's your name again? Sorry.
Caden.
Fantastic. Wow. You play very clearly. every note is very clear from the beginning, maybe too clear. So from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, so for your age is really fantastic. What you are doing is incredible start, and if you keep going like this, you will become a great musician. Yesterday I was tempted to go on YouTube and listen to my teacher Aldo Ciccolini playing the same concerto that you play.
Go ahead.
And what? Hello? Did you say something? No. Okay. And those things I just read the concerto and I never actually studied it. So those idea about what I was thinking, he was actually doing that. So, and he was playing less clear than you, by the way. The second movement, like Nevart was saying, is a bit faster, and it's almost impossible to do it clear. Maybe impossible to do it clear, but to bring up the character, yeah, then that's one. Then the second tema, I would play in not like metronome, and notch it down, ta-da, ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. So it needs more character, all from first movement to more variation of dynamics, variation of rhythm, in order to do a continuity musically of what Saint-Saëns meant. And so what Saint-Saëns, what it has to happen between pianist, orchestra, the miracle, which is very rare to happen, that everybody is there, the composer is there, the conductor is there, very difficult to do, but try to do, aim for the music. I understand very, very well, I'm pianist myself, the research of the clarity. At a point we play the piece, okay, now let's play the music, okay, but you have all the time in front of you to do this. Just living your life, eating spaghetti arrabbiata, you know, anything, you know, like that. You understand Allegro scherzando because you have been meeting your first girlfriend and she start teasing you. I know what Allegro scherzando is. Okay, so yeah, bravissimo. Okay.
Thank you, Giacomo. And last but not least, Jack Price. Oh, come on. That's
Oh, come on.
This has got to be the comedy. I realize my true calling now. It's not any of this stuff. I really need to go to a comedy club and to get a musical routine going, you know, like classical music. Is that a disease, or, you know, what is that? You know,
we should do that on a different show.
Or Armenian.
Yeah.
They'll say, you're Armenian? Yeah. Is that a disease? You know.
Yeah.
No,
so
anyway,
do you have comments for Caden?
Oh, very funny. That's a good one, James.
Yes, you said be funny.
You are funny. Whoa, we're here. Do your Trump thing. Okay. Anyway, or Mark Westcott. Mark Westcott would be good. What are you doing? Anyway,
let's stick to the audition for now.
Caden, very good job. Much of what I will say is a repetition of the other day. I agree with Giacomo, believe it or not. Once again, wow. Giacomo's the winner, thumbs up, you know, like Caesar, you know. Yeah, I mean, these second themes, like we were talking in the Chopin, seem to be problematic. When you go from the main theme to a second theme, there's a problem. For example, I mean, look, you're going to be great, but let's get to the meat. Bom, ba-da-dee-dum, be-da-da-dum, bom, ba-da-dee. Why bom, ba-da-dee-dum, dee-da-dee-dum, bom, ba-da-dee. Sounds like a, you've got to phrase, and people talk about phrasing, but I have to say, listen to the harmony. It's going to give you, it's the Bible. As a matter of fact, the real Bible, I'm sure Gevorg can, and all of you genius conductors can ratify the bass line. The bass is your key. Just look at Bach. You can build any chord on the bass line. There's so many options, but it depends on what chord is built on the bass line. So, you have that bom, beam, bom, bom in the cadenza. You have such a solid approach. Why not challenge that musically? Why bom, beam, bom, 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 beam, bom, bom, bom? Just go for it. I mean, there's no honor in hitting all the notes in dull strict time. There's great honor in taking chances and going to the top. And please get on with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't drag us through these harmonic progressions and say, well, those harmonies are really fantastic. No, they're only fantastic when you pull it off. Okay? So you want to move through that cadential point before boom, boom. I like what you did here, though. You pushed it to Anna Uspenskaya's opening of her tremolos, G minor. You pushed that da, 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 ba. That was great. Not that way. I was just rushing. See, there you hear that harmony clearly from the D to the dissonance to the C and then G minor and then D minor, open fifth. See, they have to do something to your heart. These harmonic changes have to do something to you. Have you ever watched a movie where the music and the whatever does not match the scene? I have, and that's a bad composer, okay, who cannot match the scene with the music. The whole idea is the harmony does something to you here. It can be joy, it can be passion, it can be terrifying, it can be depression, but it has to do something. You can't just play each harmony the same. There's so many examples. When you go into the third theme, probably the second theme. I can't remember. Saint-Saëns is so gifted. He just throws stuff out there, and it's like Tchaikovsky. He never repeats the opening of the first piano concerto. The theme, he throws it away after the intro, and it never comes back. Have you noticed? He has so much material to deal with. Saint-Saëns is much the same. So when you go bum dee da dee dum, ba da dum dee da da dum, there's a fervor there. If you were an operatic singer, you would not sing it the way you played it. If you were a conductor, you would not conduct it the way you played it. So my suggestion to you is away from the piano, conduct. Away from the piano, sing. Sing the parts, sing all the parts, and put it together, and you will have this amalgamation of color and rhythm and joy that you've never experienced. But if you continue in this pianistic realm, I call them piano jocks, okay? I hate piano jocks, and you're not one, but you will be one if you do not explore all these possibilities to broaden your horizons with the work. Technically, it's very good. There's work to be done, though. You don't want to get into any bad habits from this age on. Yes, you're 13, it's prodigious and all that. But, there are many levels, So you make some concentration mistakes, I believe, that absolutely don't have to happen. As a matter of fact, you toss off some of the most difficult passages with ease, and then all of a sudden it's just the easiest thing in the world, and there's a blemish. I don't count notes. I could care less, but it's kind of odd that you would be so concentrated in the most difficult things, and then all of a sudden the concentration lapses. And there are quite a few places where you've got to concentrate. I remember the wife of a conductor once told him, I was very close to this conductor, he said, concentrate, she said, every time he walked on stage, because this guy was like wild, you know? She said, concentrate. Don't forget to concentrate. You've got to concentrate. Your mind is wandering much of the piece, and the focus is lost when you wander. Okay, make sure you're concentrating on everything you're doing. And one last bit of advice. If you know what you're doing at every nook and cranny and turn of the piece, you will be able to repeat the act. You can't repeat what you do not know. So even if you're a natural pianist like Bolette, who played everything, you know, he couldn't tell you what he was doing to save his life. That's why he was a terrible teacher. but if you do it naturally and you know what you're doing and you can tell me what you're doing, each step of the way, you're the winner. No one can touch you. If you can teach yourself and others with your mouth, not with your fingers, what to do, articulate it, oh, you'll have no limit to you'll go to the top of the pinnacle of pianistic accomplishment. I love that phrase. That's what you'll achieve if you know everything that you're doing and you can remember, oh, I did this here. My wrist did this. You've got to concentrate on the execution. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to play any way I want, or actually you don't want. You know what I'm saying? You've got to concentrate on every nook and cranny of this passage work. And then you will discover the world of taking chances. And then you will make real music. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Jack. Caden, this is just wonderful playing. It's always a pleasure to hear you. Did you have any questions or anything you wanted to add?
I just want to say thank you for judging my performance. I don't usually get these great comments, and also I'd like to thank my teacher and accompanist, Miss Anna.
She's great.
Yes, Anna Ospenskaya, the great, and we're going to be hearing more from her, and she's just fabulous. And on that note, we're going to have your studio sign off and do some readjustments here, and we'll have a little interim break here before we hear the next musician here. I'd like to bring Jack Price back on for a moment. So we have a little bit of buffer time that while they're resetting their tech, and was thinking, well, maybe we could continue the artist management information here. I mean, what are the advantages to having artist management and representation, particularly today, but overall? I mean, there's a great reason why people hire services from you and other managers to help them out.
Yeah, the main reason is they can't articulate themselves how to sell themselves. I had that particular gift. I could play and sell myself. I was not afraid of, talking about myself. If you're a shameless self-promoter like I am, then you have no problem. But most artists can't talk about their art as effectively as a middleman, a distributor, if you will. And buyers don't want to just talk about one artist on one phone call, even though we believe in direct marketing for everyone personally. In other words, it's called, now I'm losing my technical thing. It's direct marketing one-on-one, so it's personal direct marketing. I'm not coming up with the word right now.
No, that's okay.
But it's...
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's collective. It's piggyback, it's roster, it's packaging, and single calls that matter. All four of those. In other words, you can't just sell one pianist sometimes because the guy will go, come on, give me a break. Talk about 10 artists. So we talk about 10 artists. I will do what I'm told to do. That's what a good salesman does, is they don't just try to persuade everybody to think like they do. You've got to get into the mind of the buyer and say, well, this guy wants a podium exchange and this guy wants VCH. He wants to be broadcast, or he doesn't want to be broadcast, or they want this, or they want the gala. You've got to have a potpourri of things to offer to entice people, buyers, to buy your artist. They're not going to go for, oh, she's phenomenal. I mean, they can go to Curtis and get free soloists all day long. You know, so they're everywhere.
So I mean, really, the advantage is that you have the connection bond with most of these organizations, and you're promoting the artists and all that. But you know exactly what they need to hear and what they want to hear.
Absolutely,
and,
but yeah. Go ahead.
And that's from what I can gather from what you're saying, that's really the a big part of the help that they're seeking out when they hire you to represent them, is they already know you, they trust you, and
right. Well,
making the connection sometimes is harder than selling the opportunity. Maybe I'm a little off here, but you can correct my points.
You're not off. You're not off, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. For example, they know me or they know Price Attractions, but they may not know the brand I'm selling. Let's say John Henry. Okay, what does John Henry play? The piano, or oboe, whatever. They've got to know the mouthpiece and the product. They can't just know the mouthpiece. I mean, I can name any number. I don't want to drop names because, it's not really a good idea. But there's, let's say, a big name conductor in Palm Beach or wherever. And he says, okay, I don't know this guy. I know you, Richie. Yeah, I believe you, but I don't know the guy. So you see, the problem is I can't just say this person's great and they're going to book them. They have to have heard the name where they're expected to hear them. They have to see the name where they expect to see the name. They can't just take my word for it unless it's Angel Romero. Yeah, I can sell him to Joanne Falletta for a tour with the Detroit Symphony in Southern Michigan all day long, which I did. But if I put another guitarist in there that is not known, they're gonna, it's not a guaranteed. It's not. Well, they're phenomenal. Yeah, but you can't really sell phenomenal. What you have to sell are things, agreements, offerings.
Well, and you have all that media for your artists up on your website, don't you? So it's just a matter of click and send in some ways, and then they have to click and watch, of course. But
well, yeah, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. You've got to get. Look, here's the deal. In a nutshell.
And you don't want to pour the water on them.
Yeah, here's the deal in a nutshell. You've got 15 seconds with any given buyer to capture their imagination. Now, how do you do that? I say you do it with a phone call or an in-person presentation, which I've been doing lately, plus sizzle, meaning the printed thing in the email. They see their deliverables, meaning their Spotify, their social media, their repertoire, their critical acclaim, both complete reviews and one-liners, taglines, recommendations from famous people, whatever. Those are also reviews. If you've got a quote from, from Horowitz, that's going to go a long way, perhaps. It all depends. But mostly the Horowitz quote is not going to help. What's going to help is, do they know the name? Oh, yeah, I know that guy. Send me some material. No, I don't know them. Go ahead and send me some material. You see the difference in the two reactions?
Yeah.
They've got to know the name. And the mouthpiece is very important. It's like Nixon used to say, the great salesman, you're selling yourself. The salesman is on sale, not the product. They'll buy anything from you if you're their friend or they know you. But then you have to have something to sell. So it's a two-pronged thing. They got to know the brand of the seller and the brand of the product. They don't really care about much else until you play. And then, you go and dazzle them and pray for a re-engagement. I mean, all the conductors here can tell you that re-engagements are a fantasy, except if you're a big name. You don't get re-engaged just because you're fantastic. You get re-engaged if you can sell tickets. But that's a misnomer. I contend that the buyers should concentrate on promotion. If they promote the orchestra healthily, steadily throughout the season, they're going to have a great return, not just Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma can only maybe fill the hall one night. Then what sells the rest of the series? You can have an unknown pianist or violinist and just promote the living daylights out of them locally and have a success deluxe. I guarantee it. The problem is the promotion, heavy lifting push. The name is heavy, so you have to lift it and push it out to the marketplace.
Yeah. Well, and you make a good point, just about, selling the right person and all that. And people like Yo-Yo Ma or anyone famous, there's also that worry that, are we going to have enough money to pay that person? And
well, not just that. I went to a concert of Joshua Bell in Oklahoma City at Rose College or something. There were 15 people in the audience. Guess why? They didn't know he was in town. Nobody knew he was there.
Wow.
He played the night before in Bartlesville, a small town, and it was 3/4 packed. The next day, nobody was there. I was at both concerts because I had an artist conducting. And so that taught me a lesson, not that I really didn't know the answer, is if they don't know that Pavarotti's in town, how are they going to know to go to the concert?
Right.
Promotion is everything. And to be honest, they don't care who's playing. In other words, the promotion is the artist. You promote the entity and you've got a great success. Just promote it. Yeah. And then we can go into the details of how to do that. We'll break it down further in our next conversation. But
of course,
obviously radio, television, everything, Texas Monthly, Texas Quarterly, all the periodicals, all the newspapers online, everything. It's a blitz. To be a good publicist is hard. You have to have that too. So we do all of that. But there are more specialists in the field that can handle publicity. We are mainly direct marketing. That's what management is.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wow. That's very informative. And and thank you for sharing all of that. It really is a lot of work on the end of just, finding the right places and the right connections. And it just goes to show that you can't get everything that you need from one place or one service or one person, or even as far as the educational part of it, you can't get everything you need from one teacher all the time, or one judge on our broadcasts here.
To be honest, in relationships, you can't get everything from one person, period. It takes a village, Miss Clinton said, Ms. You repeat over and over, it takes a village. I happen to agree with that statement. You've got to have components to success. Okay, it's not one thing. I used to think, I won the Naumburg, I'm going to have a huge career. It's so far from that. It's a joke.
Yeah,
it's a
you
joke.
You could ride
even
it for a bit,
then.
But then you have to take it to the next ride.
You can't even ride it for 4 seasons now, not without money. You can only ride a competition win that day unless Associated Press plasters you in every daily worldwide the next day. Then maybe the brand will stick for a while. There are so many subtleties to the career. You can't have one answer. He paid that guy off. No, not necessarily. But maybe this guy did pay that and grease the right palms, and he got, Greengrass used to do this for a number of artists. He big names that were of the past but are no longer big names because they were a flash in the pan. They had a spurt of money, and then the money dried up, and then the name dried up. The playing was still great. You wonder, well, where is she? Where is he?
Yeah.
If you don't fuel the train, if you don't fuel the fire, coal, whatever it is, wood, it's going to go out.
Yeah. Indeed.
Doesn't matter how great.
And you're doing your live show every Friday at noon, and
Yeah.
some of these topics are touched on it. But I mean, it's in some ways it's more about the managing of managing and the whole reality of like the getting through life, even in some of these difficult times. And
the show is more about life through the eyes of a musician, artist, manager, bon vivant. I don't think of
Bon
myself
vivant.
as a bon vivant. I don't think of myself as a bon vivant, but I do consider myself kind of a lover of life. You know?
For our listeners here, maybe you can explain what a bon vivant is. Or
well, you know,
for me,
a bon vivant is like Rubinstein. You know, if you read his book, I'm not saying you do exactly what Rubinstein. A lot of that's BS. You know, we all know he didn't, make love on a park bench in Central Park every day, but he claims he did. So he loved women, he loved wine, he loved food, he loved life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really loving life. Okay, he may have Hollywooded it up in the book, but he was like a bon vivant. He appreciated art and all kinds of things,
Indeed.
fine things. But a bon vivant is not enough. You have to. That's why this show is through the eyes of a particular kaleidoscope or whatever you call it. It's not. I'm not a truck driver, so I can't give you advice, from a truck driver's standpoint. I can only give you advice from my experiences meeting people like Kissinger or playing for Jimmy Carter's inaugural, or I had some unique little strange things happen to me, I was in the company of people you would never believe, like arms dealers, it's an interesting background and it's a treasure chest of useless knowledge, but when you put it all together, it's what we call highly entertaining, okay? And that's what the show's about. It's like in Gladiator, he says, I know you'll die for Rome and everything, but on the other hand, I'm an entertainer.
Indeed. We have a fun trailer about your show, and I'd like it if we could just show that really quick, just to break things up here and enjoy. So that just gives it a sum up, and the July 19th is a point of history where all this greatness started, and you're on there with the wonderful Jennifer Savage.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the real star of the show. I forgot.
Well, I mean, she's a part of it too, and I love how the two of you interact, because it's kind of like she introduces the topics and asks some of the big questions, and then you kind of give her a run for your money on
no, she gives me a run. She gives me a run for my money too. She's absolutely sensational, like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon kind of thing. Only the dynamic is different. She's like this young person, brilliant pianist, absolutely stunning pianist, musician, I should say. She's first a musician, and she brings to the table a lot because she's had some life experiences that are somewhat unique, and we're all unique in our own way. And she challenges me at times. I want her to challenge me more and more, but it's the questions. The show is about questions, like she says. We have more questions than answers, and that's the way we like it. She says that. It's not exactly the way I like it, but I like that response because I don't have answers. When you ask me a question, I answer it with more questions. Now, that sounds ridiculous, but it happens to be true. You have to ask yourself, okay, what is truth? Or what is the truth? Or what is success? Or what is failure? These are topics that are incredibly important in everyday living. I mean, we experience all of these. It's a spectrum of emotion. You can't just say, oh, do this. I remember, what's his name? The pianist, Menachem Pressler, said in a master class, well, to play Schubert, you have to taste the Viennese chocolate, and I'm thinking, and, I told him that too. I mean, that is not the answer to Schubert, but it's an interesting little entertaining device, in a master class. But what are we here? We're here to learn, not to, necessarily be entertained. But the
Indeed.
show is entertaining, but I hope it's instructional as well, even though I don't have the answers.
Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us. We are just about ready to get going in the next minute or so. But I would like to maybe highlight all the orchestras that we are auditioning for this weekend, and I believe we have a reel that shows that. We have the ColORCHESTRA auditions. We've been at this a few years now, and we just keep adding more and more orchestras. And even so, we have more than what you'll see on this list today, just because they keep wanting to work with us. We have the Royal Philharmonic in London, which there's a recording opportunity for, and then the Lviv National Philharmonic, which will be performing with Jennifer Savage this weekend, the Slovak Sinfonietta Zilina, and so many of them. The Paducah Symphony Orchestra, where many of our artists will be this season, the Boulder Symphony Music Academy in Colorado, and then the Butler Philharmonic. We had Scott Woodard on yesterday and given his fabulous comments there for them. And Philippine Philharmonic, which is one of our auditioned orchestras today. The Western New York Chamber Orchestra with Maestro Cortese, who has been the spearhead orchestra of this project for a few years. The Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic in the Czech Republic. And the Kolarac Endowment, and so many others here. Do we have more? Oh, yes! The Cairo Opera Orchestra, which we are also auditioning for in this session. And as well as we have many other conductors, which I think we will save this part of the reel for later, because I understand that we are ready to go with the next person. So we will be bringing in Joanna Chow, and she will be performing Mendelssohn's Piano Concerto No. 1 in G minor, the first movement. Joanna, the stage is yours. Welcome. Bravo! Bravo, Joanna. So wonderful. And, this sounds like the eclectic rock version of Mendelssohn whenever I hear that concerto, that whole fighting drive to it, which was just so exciting to hear from you. And I'd like to turn this over to the judges, and we will start with Giacomo.
Yeah, Joanna, congratulations. It's not easy. And when you were playing, I was coming with one idea, like playing piano well or very well is not easy. Everybody thinks that playing piano it's easy, especially people that don't play piano. So you just press the keys and then you play. The sound is there. It's easy, right? No. Okay. I found inside yourself you have a fire that is numbed. It's like suppressed. You are, I think this is what I feel from your playing. You are preoccupied about playing all the notes and being precise, and then this is elusive. You see that is something a little ahead of you. You want to catch it. So there are two things. One, they look like opposite. One is you want. So basically, you don't express yourself, and you have this little block. So you have to unblock that. On the other side is like the opposite is like the technical aspect. So there is a famous Italian school, the school of Vincenzo Vitale, which he was suggesting to weight every note. It's a very tedious work practicing like that in order to get evenness in the runs. So technically you have these passages, some of them, I'm the last one that counted the notes, but some of those passages, as you know, you didn't finish them. It's not that you didn't finish them because you don't have good hands. Your hands are fantastic. The thing is that you had to find the evenness in the passage in order to finish the passages with no problem. And so you had to find these two things together. The willingness of expressing yourself and this technical thing that I've been spotting you are playing. But brava anyway, congratulations.
Thank you, Giacomo. We will move on to Navart.
Yeah. Hello, Joanna. I'm agree with Giacomo, and I want to add something. I am hungry of music. In 2 words, yeah? Yes, that's right. You finish the phrase, you feel music, you think music, you sing the music, you play, even if it's very technical, yeah? It's feel it, sing it, and finish the idea before beginning the other one, finish the rhythm before the next rhythm, finish the notes before the next. I'm a little bit hungry, so I wanted to hear you play, involved in the music, enjoy the music, be passionate of music, like it. You must love it, and we must feel it in the sound. Yeah, I think there is a lot to do for that, and you will understand that to have a technique, pianistic technique, is not enough. It's a way, it's a medium to express the music. It's not enough, yeah? But anyway, I think you can do better. That's it.
Thank you, Navart. We'll move on to Jack Price.
Okay. I mean, I kind of agree with those two, and I kind of disagree. It's kind of like yesterday with David, you know. Although I agreed, and it was weird. Anyway, the point is, I think you play very well. I think you're very expressive. I don't agree with Giacomo that you're not expressing yourself. Correct me if I'm wrong, Giacomo. I'm not sure you actually said that she isn't expressing herself.
No, I was
but
saying,
I found all the music. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that that her expression is there, but if maybe it's also in the music. She's pushing, and she doesn't have any. There is no introspection, variety of colors, but the expression is there. I think that there is also the limit, the technical limit. But anyway, yeah, I'm not completely. Yeah.
No, I found those couple slips to be concentration problems, like in the last boy, Caden. I think she has plenty of fingers. She has plenty of power. Is it Jessica? Joanna. I can't see because the screen is too small and I'm getting old. Okay, so you have this concerto well in hand. I love the accompaniment, by the way, that Anna gave you. Is absolutely fantastically orchestral and wonderful, but she'll follow you. For example, Joanna, why do you play? The opening was fantastic. All the brilliant fingers, and I love the cadential points. Dee-dum, yum, bum. You didn't go da-dum like a lot of people do. You know, it's all the gestures are there, but why not move that opening octave passage to the top instead of in dull strict time? It's the same tempo. It's the same tempo you're taking with the finger work, but the phrasing works with the harmony. So what's the key octave in there? Do you know?
No. And?
The last three create the chord. Okay, yum, bum, ba 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 da yum. You know, right? Dee da dum. So you want to go to that place. That's the gesture you want to make, not equal. Ba 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 bum. That doesn't tell us much, but I know it's there with you. I know you feel it. Okay, so just simply alter your, I would say your frame of reference. Instead of thinking of the octaves as single gestures, think of them cumulatively as one, okay? And then you'll get the chord at the end. Otherwise, it sounds like dull strict time a little bit. Not bad, but, just a little too much in rhythm. I think you have a very, very good sense of color. I agree with whoever said to vary the color more, but you have all the ingredients. It's a very good performance. It's very clean. It's very understandable. I like it, the straightforwardness of it, and I love the impetus, the direction. But you need to do more of all of those things, like in the second theme. Not dee da 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 da. You see what I mean? It's like it's the same tempo. Your tempos are fine. Some people play this fast, really fast. Some people play it measured. Some people, but if it has the phrasing that is dictated by the harmony, no one's going to complain. You could play it even slower, which you don't need to, of course. But I think we basically go from the 16th notes in this piece, like the very last passage in unison. So you can't really go any faster than yum bum, but you can have direction to that phrase tonally. You can change it tonally. You don't have to go faster because you're already pretty much at the right. In my opinion, the tempo is very solid. listen to Anna when she's doing her interludes. She's really doing a lot of things there, and you should. Yeah, I mean, okay, you're not going to get every orchestra to do that kind of, these gestures that she does, but it's similar. The orchestra part, this is a fantastic piece of music, and it's, I love this concerto, and it's because of its uniqueness in a way. It's very different than the Saint-Saëns, for example. Mendelssohn was a happy, well, I don't know. He was a rich guy, so maybe he was pretty happy. He was one of the composers that made money in his lifetime. So I assumed that he was happy. You know what I mean? And he's fun and he's joyous. And I think you are bringing some of the joy to the piece. I do. I liked it very much. It's a dedicated performance, but just do more of it. Okay?
You indeed played well, Joanna. And Richie,
well.
I'm so sorry to cut you off here. We do need to move on. If you have like one more statement that you want to sum up everything with, we could hear it now.
Just do more of what you're doing. You're not doing anything wrong. Do more of it. Give us more. Like Navart said, she's hungry. She just wants you to bring it out. Yeah, well, we're not going to Subway here, okay?
No.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, she just wants to hear your voice more. That's all. It's very good playing.
Yeah, some fabulous playing there. It was a great rendition. Joanna, did you have any questions you wanted to ask or anything you wanted to say before we sign off with you?
No, just thank you.
Our pleasure, indeed. And thank you for bringing such a wonderful rendition of this Mendelssohn to our virtual stage today. We wish you the best, and we hope to hear more from you in the future. So, with Joanna signing off here, we have one more person in this session. And before we get to that, I just want to mention in about 35 minutes, we have our next session of auditions. Right now, we are hearing auditions for the Cairo Opera Orchestra and the Butler Philharmonic. And in 35 minutes, we will be hearing auditions for the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic, which is in the Czech Republic, the Royal Philharmonic, which is in London, and the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra, which is in the Philippines. So we will be hearing auditions for all of that starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. And now, to wrap up this session, we have Kate Lee, who will be performing the Beethoven First Movement Piano Concerto. And I believe she is in the studio here ready to go. So we will move over to Kate. And Kate is no amateur to our audition stage. So welcome back to the virtual stage and break a leg. Bravo, Kate. Bravo. Thank you for bringing this fabulous rendition back to our studio again. It's so great to hear you. I'm going to turn this right over to the judges. We're going to start with Navart.
Whoa! It was so good that I don't know what I can say. Only one thing, very small thing. The passage of the bridge when you play, we need more harmony of the left hand. It's not enough, yeah. So we can feel that there's happening something. Mm-hmm. That's it. What I wanted to say. Otherwise, well, as I told you yesterday, it is really very good, huh? Of course, you have a lot to learn. Not only make your techniques better, but musically better. Do you play other pieces than this concerto?
Yes, I've played other concertos before.
Which concertos?
I've played the Kabalevsky concerto and a Mozart concerto.
Did you play with orchestra?
For the Kabalevsky, yes. For the Mozart, no.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You also played this Russian concerto with us at Carnegie Hall a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And I forget the composer's name. Yeah, it was extraordinary. Anyway, continue.
She played Kabalevsky.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say. Congratulations again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Navart. And we'll turn this over to Jack Price.
Okay, Kate, great job as always. It's delightful to hear you, and like we said yesterday, your development, I should say. I don't like the word improvement. Development over the last months from the last year auditions and the performance with Cairo. It's a lot of growth. I still feel that, I mean, look, we all have different days, we have different moods, just like Gevorg was saying, if you have a bad salad, you're going to play a different way. If you see a depressing movie, don't watch Sophie's Choice before you go out on stage. I did that once. Not a good idea. Anyway, so what you need, I feel, is to, again, like the last person, in a way, to do more of your intentions. Okay, your intent is excellent. I know what you're trying to do, and you're doing it most of the time, but just do more of it. For example, when you go you don't have to go, you know what I mean? Give yourself a break on that long note. Yum, bum, 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 be, do, do. See, hold it, and make that left, all the accompaniment figures less. And there's a way to do that. I've watched you and listened to you now. If you hold the, Mark Westcott said this is somebody that James knows. If you overlap the notes more and don't leave the keyboard, overlap, stay glued to the keys, but mostly the thumb. The thumb will give the leverage and the power to the other digits, as we talked about yesterday, but it has to be a certain feeling now. You can't just do what I'm telling you to do. Oh yeah, keep your thumb down. It's not that easy. You have to feel the sensation of the thumb distributing weight and power and evenness to the other digits. This is your problem, and it's not an unusual problem. Everybody needs to do this. It's actually a recent breakthrough of mine, but I did it naturally, like I said before, a long time ago, but you have to know that you're doing it. It's not enough to do it. You have to know that you are doing it. You need to be aware that you're doing it. So my biggest contribution can be hold the thumb down as long as you can, then let go, and then hold it down again as long as you can, then let go. That's called overlapping or dovetailing or whatever. Do not hold all the other notes down, obviously. The thumb is the anchor. You're playing two fingery and you're leaving the keyboard too soon and you're not returning soon enough. Now, it might not look like that on camera. It doesn't matter how it looks. It matters how it feels. Looks are one thing. Seems, S-E-E-M-S, seems is just seems. But doing it really is doing it really. So, like I said to the last girl, I forget her name, Jessica or
Joanna.
Joanna. Yeah, I knew it was a J, like Jack. Okay, so be conscious of everything you're doing. Okay, I know we have very little time. Be conscious of what you're doing at all times. Then you can repeat it. I found a lot of your little slips or whatever, which is totally normal. I mean, hell, I've seen, millions of, Horowitz missed notes left and right. So it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of approach. Your approach needs to be more consistent. The way to consistency is to know what you're doing. It's like if you have a problem and you don't recognize the problem, you're not on your way to solving that problem. You've got to be aware of the problem before you can solve the problem. You can't just go, oh, I'm a mess and I don't know where to start. No, you have to know, aha, I did this wrong. I'm going to fix that, and this is the solution. But basically, keep your fingers glued to the keys, but no heavy pressure from pushing, but it's like a looseness in the thumb. You just allow that thumb, just distribute it all over the place, That's what you want. You don't want to push. No tension as much as possible. Tension, release, tension, release. Everybody talks about tension, release, but I prefer no tension at all, okay? So that's a lot of it. Another thing is cliched ideas and rubati or things that don't really serve the music well. Now you think about that. These little stops and starts and things that everybody else does. Like if you heard Richter do it, oh yeah, I think I'll do that. I knew a cellist once that used to say, listen man, I put all my Dvorak concertos together and I sound like at least 12 different cellists, that kind of thing. You don't want to listen to recordings and get ideas. You just have your own ideas and you have plenty of them. So don't do cliched things that you've heard. Do Kate things, Kate Lee things, not Brendel things, or those are things that are indigenous, if you want to say, to those artists. They can pull them off because they do those things all the time. You don't want to mimic or do things that everyone does. You want to do unique things. Okay?
Thank you, Jack.
Use your intuition.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we do have to stop here. Kate, did you have a question you wanted to ask or anything to add?
No, but thank you again for giving me comments.
It's always our pleasure here to give you everything that we can. The wonderful performances. So great to hear you again. And we look forward to hearing you in the future. And I think you're on for a few other auditions. So with that, I would just like to thank the judges really quickly. Judges, thank you for your expert opinions. And I mean, we did run a little bit over here, so that's why we only have two of them left, the two surviving judges here. Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you to our supporters and our collaborators here. We have so many supporters and collaborators here that they can't all fit on one card here. But, it takes a village. And as we keep mentioning these villages, it takes many villages. It takes like a whole country, a whole world. We're all interconnected here. Whether we know each other or not, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows someone in this business. And that's where we are all interconnected here. And we thank everybody for their support. We are live streaming on all major platforms here. and it is interactive. I'm sure you've seen a few comments that people have left, congratulating the performers, and we encourage that. Our tech wizards are putting all that up on the screen, so keep continuing to do that. We have a wonderful team here at Virtual Concert Halls, and we could not do these broadcasts without people behind the scenes flipping all the switches and doing all the magic touches. We are about to sign off here in about 10 minutes. We will be hearing auditions for the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic, the Royal Philharmonic, and the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra. I'm James Welch here for Progressive Musicians and Virtual Concert Halls. Thank you for tuning in and for listening, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.